screen, of course, we have the QR code for sick kids. And of course, we will be giving out 3 sim rigs once we get to our goal of $1,000 by the end of the championship. Hopefully that's enough incentive for people to want to donate to the sick kids charity. And without any further delay, let's check out what the championship standings has in store for us right now. Season 3, after the first 2 rounds, Daniel Tran leads with 67 points, Armando Fio with 63 points, BK leads with 60 points in third in the Porsche, and the BMWs trail Cal Jr. with 59 and Dominic C with 57 to his name in another BMW. You got 4 manufacturers in the top 4 right now, and it's going to get all shaken up as the season goes on, but boy, is this an exciting championship to be seen so far. The Canadian of Daniel Tran leading by just 4 points right now, then separated by 3, 1, and 2 as the standings go further down. Let's check out what the team standings have in store for us right now. The Smash Brothers lead with 142 points to their name. The FAF Motorsports team has gone down to second place with 131. The FAF Tuning team with 120 points. TVP Racing with 107, and bumping out the KFC team is the Omega Racing Tryhard team with 90 points to their name. And of course, the championship points in the team standings are just as important as they are for the driver's standing. And boy, is it close here at the top of the table. And we've only got about 50 points separating the top from the rest, so it'll be spicy as the season goes on. Let's check out what the weather has in store for us right now, also here for Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch, the weather report looks like it's going to be 72 degrees track, 22 degrees ambient, wind coming in from the south-southeast, night race, partial clouds, and the track will be dry and stable. Unlike the Kyalami circuit that we faced a couple of weeks ago, that was a bit more hectic to say the least. Drivers getting out on their qualifying session right now. It'll be Cal Jr. in first place with a 124.0, 124.1 for Armando Fio, Philip Cos. This will give us time to look at all the liveries, all of the drivers and the teams that they are part of, and as well as shake down the times that they're all getting. 19 degrees Celsius, 22 degrees Celsius for the track temperature, 40-minute race. It's 5:02 in the PM. The session has not advanced too far into the future for us to get that night race that we were expecting to see. And if you missed the QR code in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, of course, there will be more Sick Kids Foundation's logos and more of the QR code yet to come. Without any further delay, let's start with the starting grid and see if we can meet all of the drivers before we get going. Daniel Tran in P1 with a 123.0807 and the number 52 driving for the KFC team. Royal Motorsports, this will be Cal Jr. in second place with the number 29. Armando Fio, the number 79 for the Omega Racing team, is in third place. Marcos Martins, the number 51 for the Omega Racing team, in fourth place. Sean Hafala, the Turner Motorsports team, is in the number 8 and 5th. Philip Cossette, the first of the Smash Bros cars, in the 218. He is in 6th place. Dominic Schumann, the Smash Bros car, is in the 888 BMW. Wilson Ho, Process Reality, in the 88 in 8th place, right where he should be. Leo Mora, Omega Racing team, the number 30, in 9th place overall. Benjamin Hyun, the FAF Motorsports car, is in the 38 in 10th place. Sean Toy, the TVP Racing team, is in the number 26 in 11th. Randall Zimmer for the Zoomers in the 141. He's sitting in 12th place right now. Brock Karsalugu, he is going to be in the FAF Motorsports number 9 BK aptly put. Corey McNulty, the FAF Tuning number 74, and he's going to be in Merlin Travail, the number 208 in 15th. Denver Abbott is in 16th place, the number 73 for TVP. Manthly EMA, that'll be Biola Isho. Laszlo Toth, the number 31, Six Sigma Racing, in the 18th spot. Ronaldo Jr., the pride of Brazil right now, the Omega Racing team, is going to be in the 19th spot. Nilton Diaz, the Omega Racing team, in the 19th spot. No, number 20 spot. FB Gabata, the number 69, is going to be in the 21st spot. Lucas Ferrari, the number 93, is in 22 overall. And that'll round it out for the Omega Racing team, Ontario Speedmasters, Season 3 right now. And we've got a 40-minute race, mandatory pit stop for all the drivers. It looks like 1 liter of fuel will be required for all of the drivers now going forward. Let's go, Benny. I apologize, my Brazilian is not up, my Portuguese, excuse me, is not up to snuff. I barely understand most of what is said in the chat. I am an English commentator, so I apologize for my ignorance. But I assume everybody's saying great things about their cheers. Let's go racing here at Brands Hatch. Everybody signed up, ready to go. They're 2x2 right now, coming through Clark Curve. My breath is waiting to be held because turn 1 here, the Paddock Hill Bend, is going to be so tight, and the drivers are getting ready to take the green light. Getting ready to cross the line right now is Daniel Tran, and green, away we go. Daniel Tran gets a great jump over Cao Jr. Cao Jr. falls back, single file line already, but it's not the same thing further back. Armando Fio and Marcos Martins going side by side. Oh man, there's more door banging further back down the grid, but Fio trying to go around the outside of Marcos Martins, outside of Jude's, turns to the inside of the Graham Hill Bend. Will it be clean, nip and tidy? I think it is. It is done and dusted. Marcos Martins and Sean Hafala going after it still as they approach Surtees. And through Surtees, a little bit of a hip check there. That's Leo Mora trying to send his way through on Dominic Schumann, and he is able to get that overtake completed. Very well done for Leo Mora. It's still neat and tidy for all the drivers, mostly single file line right now. Check out Corey McNulty as he's about to send a big one on Ronaldo Jr., but backs out of it there at Hawthorne Bend. Thinks better of it. Not a great passing opportunity, but tried to make it one for certain. He's tucking in single file line. There's a car out in front. That's Randall Zimmer going off and rejoining the track, and a couple of other drivers were able to get past him very easily. That'll be Ronaldo Jr. and Corey McNulty able to get by very quickly. Oh, change for the lead. Change for the lead, though. Let's see if we can go back 30 for 30 and see how that took place. It looks like Daniel Tran may have made a mistake here, and hopefully not too endearing for him to lose out more than just one as he comes through. It looks like, oh man, he goes a little bit wide, and Cao Jr. just able to get that overtake completed all on his own without any hesitation. Cao, a fighter for sure. And back to the live screen now. Through Surtees, nose to tail, Armando Fio lurking in the background. Sean Hafala losing out 2 positions, getting nip and tuck behind Philip Cossette. Philip Cossette's now going side by side right now with Sean Hafala. I believe these are teammates. Yes, Sean Hafala and Cossette. No, they are not teammates, just in similar machinery. But obviously not the Smash Bros team going after it with the TVP tuning team. Oh no, Daniel Tran having another incident. Yellow flag for the number 52. Let's see if we can get a recap of what happened to the number 52 to cause him to lose out again at the same corner he lost out at before. That'll be at Sterling's is where he made that mistake. Let's see if we can get a recap of this incident really quickly. This is the number 29 getting the best session lap in. Oh no, Daniel Tran coming into the pits right now, trying to get something taken care of, I would think. What is going on? Apologize for the technical issues, folks. Trying to see what happened to this number 52. Chasing down Cow Jr., Daniel Tran has gone to the pit stop, serving his 11.8 stationary, 22.7. Oh, big drift coming through Dingledale, I believe, smacking the wall for good measure, just sending it a little too hard, returning to the track at Sheens now. Philip Cossette, Sean Hafala now close to each other. Laszlo Toth getting involved with an incident. No, just a yellow flag for him as he loses touch with the driver in front. That'll be Milton Diaz that he was close to, but Awea Isho is just 0.3 away from Laszlo Toth right now. But the two BMWs that we're staring at right now, less than 0.3 away from each other. Philip Cossette with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:24.6. beating out Cow Jr. and Daniel Tran's best lap. Looking for the penalties of this night's event. Five-second time penalty for Lucas Ferrari, now turned into a drive-through penalty. Merlin Travail, it'll be involved with Milton Diaz for lap 4 incident. Major collision again, Milton Diaz and Deej Johnson, Corey McNulty and Sean Toy. It looks like minor collisions were resulting in 5 seconds. Major collisions were a drive-through penalty. Reckless collision, 30-second stop-and-go penalty. Cutting the track for advantage turns out to be a 5-second time penalty. Excessive leaving, 5-second time penalty. Dangerous braking maneuver, 5-second time penalty. And intentional violence or griefing was always resulted in disqualification and a race ban. But we're not seeing that here tonight, everybody. Just seeing some good, clean, hard racing between a bunch of countrymen. Sean Hafala trying to do a good job and follow through on a delivery move here, but he's not finding the daylight. Able to get around Marcos Martins now. Philip Cossette now lurking in the wings. Now we've got 3 BMWs nose to tail. Sean Hafala with the fastest lap of the race at 24.632. That was just that last lap around. And we've seen nearly identical lap times out of the drivers around him. 25.1 for the car in front, though. So a little bit of a cork in the bottle. And there goes a move from Cossette up the inside, looking like he wants to make a good move, but couldn't find it. Merlin Travail and BK getting involved in a little bit of an incident. A little tiny touch between the 9 and the 208. Barely even registered as a blimp on my radar. Closest battle on track is this trio right now of the Philip Cossette, Leo Mora, Marcos Martins now battle. And going a little bit too deep and wide is Sean Hafala. And now it's going to be Philip Cossette trying to go up the inside of the Graham Hill Bend, getting his nose chopped right off and going out to the exit curbing. That asphalt that I talked about earlier is going to be Leo Mora and Philip Cossette as Cossette tries to hold on in front of Leo Mora. He does a good job of putting on his defense, and Leo Mora stays behind, or does he? Dominic Chimont now trying to get past Leo Mora with all that fighting that's been going on, and that BMW is just pulling away and does so before the Hawthorne Bend. Oh, maybe not. Side-by-side action continues. And now Leo Mora's on the inside line, and two drivers, they touch. Leo Mora and Dominic Chumon go back around. Trying to regain their track composure. Here comes BK flashing his headlights, letting him know that he's there. And a little bit faster, here's Laszlo Toth chasing down Nilton Diaz. Or is that Nilson Diaz? That'll be the 31 car. That'll be Laszlo Toth, yes, and Denver Abbat. Inverting positions there for a second. And now BIO. Oh no, Laszlo Toth having a big moment there at Clearways. The exit of Sterling, not holding on for another day for sure. That car has seen some terminal damage now, the number 31 getting the worst of it. Looking at Sean Hafala and Philippe Cassette. "30 minutes left in this one tonight, folks." Come through Hawthorne Bend. There's a tail single file line. It looks like Daniel Tran has a lot of ground to make up now if he does want to catch back up to the grid in front. Daniel Tran is stuck down in 14th place in the number 52 AMG. I think the only cars that we're not seeing here tonight are actually the Audi R8 LMS, the Lamborghini Huracan, the Nismo GTR, the Bentley Continental, one Aston Martin here tonight, the Denver Abbat getting around. It looks like the 930, and they might have touched there. And it looks like that other green Porsche is able to snake right on through. That's Denver Abbat. And who's out in front of him right now? That's Isho out in front. Isho is able to go through after watching the two drivers collide with each other. Oh, Isho goes a little bit deep and wide at the Pilgrim's Rise and in through Druids. Abbat is able to get that position back. And no Ford Mustangs either in this championship that we've seen so far. Here's BK getting chased down by Dominic Chumon. Side by side up through Dingledale. Who's going to hold on a little bit better? This is a little bit of scariness as BK, oh no, collects the other car as well. Oh man. Not a great place to go side by side. Gets in front of Isho though. BK is able to drive off that 10th place car for the FAF Motorsports team. Go look at Philippe Cassette as he chases down Wilson Ho. Brands Hatch is such a tricky track to try to get an overtake on. It's so difficult here. The track is so tight in so many places. There's only a few ways to get overtaking done. This might be one of them though for Philippe Cassette, setting up there at the Pilgrim's Drop right now. Coming down, but he won't be able to get fully alongside at the Hawthorne Bend, excuse me. Andre Morera says, "Third time watching the race. Ronaldo impresses me. Someone always gets in his way. He was supposed to be among the first. He runs very well. Great driver." Always, for sure. Always glad to see everybody improving in this championship as well, especially as the drives go on. Side by side between FB Gabata and BK coming through the Westfield Bend right now. The 69 trying to get around the outside of the number 9. Can he get that move to stick? Ooh, dips the wheel off into the grass, and that'll be enough at Sheen's. Not nearly enough power to slow down that car before we got to Sterling's. Laszlo Toth, Randall Zimmer. Zimmer has already taken his pit stop, but it looks like a couple of cars getting out of the way very quickly. And it looks like Marcos Martins has found some pace right now. He's doing 125.372. He's lapping around the same pace as Armando Fio out in front. Great pace, great stride out of him. He might find himself into the top 3 here by the end of this 25 minutes. You can see off on the left-hand side of your screen, the drivers with the green banners have taken their mandatory pit stops. The drivers with the 1 in the orange still have to take their 1 mandatory pit stops before the end of this race. If they decide to take tires or not, that's completely up to them. With a 45-minute sprint race, I think most drivers should be going for a splash and dash strategy to the end. Really closing down the gap right now between himself and Armando Fio. Gap's down to just 0.3 of a second. Slinking away from each other. Oh, Philippe Cassette going up the inside of turn 1, though. Able to get a move done over Wilson Ho. Amazing overtake. Want to catch that one again, if at all possible. The 218 slips right on through on that number 88 of Wilson Ho. Oh no, and Philippe Cassette throws it away at turn 3, the Graham Hill Bend. Unable to wrestle that horse under him, and he throws it all away, getting to the exit of the circuit. Here's Marcos Martins, though, getting really close again to Armando Fio. Gaps now again 0.3 of a second between the two drivers. Daniel Tran now possesses the fastest lap of the race point, the 124.4 to his name, doing a great job on that recovery drive after having just 2 major incidences earlier on in this stint of his. KFC team holding on just outside of the top 5 of the team standings, though. KFC has fallen back with 67 points into the 8th place spot. They've got a lot of work to do to go forward. Trying to find out who else is on the KFC team, and it might be a single man operation. And that explains why they've fallen back so quickly in the championship standings. Because it is a one-man show right now. Smash Bros, Pfaff Motorsports, Pfaff Tuning, TVP, and Omega Racing Tryhard, all in the top 5. Cal Jr. at this rate would gain 38 points to his name. He could find himself leading the championship as well. The way things are right now, if he gets 38 points and Daniel Tran in 10th gets 22, possibly not. Daniel Tran would still hold on to the lead. Armando Fio would still hold on to second place. Potentially be a 12-point gap between them, though. And there's a 17-point gap right now. So go the other way. So it looks like Cal Jr. would actually inherit second place. Armando Fio would get bumped back. BK would stay in third. A lot of points guessing going on in my head. I may be Indian, but math is not my strong suit, so forgive me if I get the championship standings wrong. But Daniel Tran being the first of the pit stoppers and staying out in clean air for the most part of this race, he's probably going to inherit at least a handful more of these spots by just staying out in clean air. Number 52 right now caught up to the 2, 3, 4, but obviously on different strategies overall. See how Daniel Tran is going to negotiate this in just a few corners. He's able to get another position out of Merlin Travail and Philippe Cassette as they're both into the pits right now. And now he's going to make this pass happen out on track as he tries to get around Isho. Up the inside, makes a look at Druids, and a little tap there into Isho as Isho was already wiggling. Unable to make it happen cleanly. I think he just didn't anticipate where Isho was going to go because he was already a little unstable. Daniel Tran able to get through with just barely in this 7th place spot that he's in. The number 52 driving forward. And at this rate, he will get Benjamin Hyun's spot, Sean Hafala's, and potentially Wilson Ho's. He could find himself into the top 5 by the end of this 18-minute stint. Cal Jr., though, is the leader of this race right now. The number 29. Last lap around was a 125.3. His best lap being a 24.6. That's nothing compared to Philippe Cassette's 124.3, as he has now snatched away the fastest lap of the race away from Daniel Tran. Benjamin Hyun into the pit. Daniel Tran goes forward in this championship. Philippe Cassette goes forward over Benjamin Hyun as well. Hyun falls back maybe even a couple more positions. He's 18 seconds, 20 seconds, 23 seconds now into the pit lane. Benjamin Hyun on his way out, 6.8 seconds stationary, 23.9 second transient time. Number 26 stranded on track. That's Sean Toy. Marcos Martins has managed to stay really close to Armando Fio this entire time, 8 seconds, 0.8 of a second away from each other. The 51 chases the number 79 for the remaining 16 and a bit minutes left of this race. Doing a good job driving this one forward, that's for sure. Is Marcos Martins keeping really in touch with Armando Fio out in front. Did a good job, better than I expected it to go for him. Checking the standings to see where Marcos Martins has come in before. This might be his actual first race. For the Omega Racing team. This will be an impressive top 3 finish for him. Benjamin Hun gets a stop-go 30. No. That'll be due to speeding into the pit lane. Armando Fio taking the Paddock Hill Bend in this Ferrari for the Omega Racing team. Doing a great job keeping this one on track, but just barely for Armando Fio or the ORT. Stop go 30 for Benjamin Hun, still not served yet. Got Cal Jr., Armando Fio, Martins, Ho, Hafala, Cossette, excuse me, not Cossette, Isho, all still having to take their pit stops with just under 15 minutes left in this race. I wonder what their strategies will be. Most likely will be splashing and dashing as we get closer to the end, but Daniel Tran, no longer the first of the pit stoppers, as Cossette has been able to hold on to that title now in the 218 BMW. So keep an eye on Cossette as he's most likely to improve as this race goes on. Daniel Tran may only gain one more position as this race goes on. And Isho has a moment. The 2-3-4 having a bit of a moment. Lets a couple of the cars by. Leo Mora and Daniel Tran able to get past. Now he's got to contend with Philippe Cossette. That's Daniel Tran trying to get moves done. See what the gap is actually between the two of them. Daniel Tran's only 8.3 seconds away from Philippe Cossette, but Cossette is doing fast laps right now. He's down to the 24.9s. Daniel Tran's only doing 25.3s. Isho finally into the pit stop right now. On lap 17. Rear wing of Armando Fio looking back at Marcos Martins. Taking a look at the rest of the field, though, we've got, who is that? That must be the 69 of FB Gabata. That's out in front of Armando Fio. Wilson Ho having a moment. No. Might be a big incident here for the number 88. Let's take a look back and see if we can find out what happened to that 88. Self-inflicted or not, the driver in the 4th position. The 888 right behind. That'll be Dominic Chamont. Oh, just gets it all wrong coming in through turn 3. Wheels off into the grass, onto the braking zone, and just did not have any traction there. Holds on to that 4th place spot, but now is just 21.4 seconds ahead of Philippe Cossette. Take a look back at Marcos Martins and Armando Fio, the closest battle on track. Stays within about a half a second. Marcos Martins has done a phenomenal job just following closely to Armando Fio this entire race. I don't think that gap has gone past 1 second since lap 1 of this entire event. I would love to talk to him after this race to find out what the secret is to being able to pull off a stint like that, where you're just stuck in behind another driver and you cannot see past them. The number 9 of BK is stuck around the infield right now at the Bravery Hill Bend and down the Cooper Straight. There it is, right on the right-hand side of your screen. You saw him for just a brief moment getting passed by Dominic Chumont. Wilson Ho's into the pits right now. Into the pits again for what I would assume would be the second time. That promotes Daniel Tran into the 5th place spot. No, Wilson Ho serving his mandatory right now. Excuse me, no. That was a mandatory for Wilson Ho that he needed to serve, and he's doing so at this time. The 88 falls back just a couple of positions as he takes a splash and dash and goes right on out with a 13.1 second stationary, 22.3 second transient overall, one of the faster ones other than Philippe Cossette, who did a 21.9 second transient. Very fast from line to line. Cal Jr., Armando Fio, and Marcos Martins still have not taken their pit stops. I wonder who's going to go for an undercut, though. Will it be Marcos Martins or Armando Fio? The gap has gone to the biggest we've ever seen it. That'll be 1.8 seconds now. I must have given him the commentary curse. Accident happening for the number 30, it looks like. Not sure what happened to that number 30. Let's take a quick look and see what happened. Looks like the 930 trying to get through on the 30, able to do so. Maybe just a little touching there. Oh, and trying to go back through the 930, gets a little bump in the rump from that number 30 as he tries to do the shake and bake and get past him. Looks like Corey McNulty, Daniel Tran, excuse me now. He's getting around one of the back markers out on circuit. I believe that'll be one of the FAF cars. That must be Benjamin Hyun in the number 38 McLaren. That is one of the only McLarens on the grid right now. You can see all the manufacturers have kind of hurtled together. You see BK, Isho, Toth in the Porsches all nestled together. Ho, Mora, and Zimmer all together in those Ferraris. And then they've got one lone Ferrari of Armando Fio hanging out with the BMWs out in front. Otherwise, making this a BMW 1-2-3. Philippe Cossette now trying to get through on a back marker. That'll be Laszlo Toth in the number 31. Able to do so without any drama at the exit of turn 3. Neatly done, not losing a ton of time, it looks like. And now getting to the 3rd straight now. Marcos Martins sure has lost touch with Fio out in front. That last lap being a 26.1. Armando Fio's into the pits right now once he got a healthy gap that he felt would not be overtaken during an undercut strategy or an overcut strategy. He's now into the pit stop. Armando Fio serving this one. I wonder what strategy he's going to go for. Most likely will be a splash and dash, but you never know with these drivers. Some might decide to take a little bit more fuel than others, causing that little bit of balance indifference with their pit stop times. But I think this driver is going to be pretty neat and tidy with a strategy with under 10 minutes left to go. 9.1 seconds stationary for Armando Fio, 22.4 second transient. Marcos Martins has his work cut out for him if he wants to get this one in the bag. Only 31 second gap, so he's got to make this one happen in just under 30 seconds to hold onto the track position that he desperately needs. Marcos Martins trying to find his way to the second step of the podium here tonight, because Cal Jr. is 11 seconds up ahead the field. Cal Jr. now into the pits. He's going to find his place back behind Marcos Martins right now when he comes out of the pits. And Marcos Martins now into the pits himself, cutting over the chicane as much as possible for the Omega Racing team. And you can see Cal just in front now, getting to his pit stall. Cal Jr. rolling out will still inherit the lead of this race. Marcos Martins trickling out just a moment ago now. 21.9, 6.5. This is going to be awfully close between him and Armando Fio. Armando Fio got slowed down by Philippe Cosset, a little bit of battling, and now Marcos Martins pulls off the overcut of a century. Gains that 1.5 second lead just in the pit stop alone, being a little bit faster with that transient time as well as the pit stop time. He was carrying just a little bit more fuel, it looks like. Didn't need to be stationary for just as long as Armando was, and now sitting in second place. Coming through Pilgrim's Drop now. Get through Hawthorne Bend, nose to tail between these drivers. Leo Mora and, well, let's check out Philippe Cosset actually, and Armando Fio. This is the battle that we want to keep an eye on as we get to the Brabham Straight. Flashy of the headlights out of Cosset, trying to distract Armando Fio into making some sort of mistake, but he's not quite into doing so. Three minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be this lap plus two more, based on where the number 29 is of Cal Jr. on the circuit. Taking a look at the standings one more time. The team standings are Smash Bros in 142, first place for them. Pfaff Motorsports in P2 with 131. Pfaff Tuning in third place with 120. TVP Racing with 107 in fourth. Omega Racing Tryhard in fifth with 90 points. Zoomers in sixth place with 77. Omega Racing for Fun with 71. KFC in 8th place with 67. Royal Motorsports in 9th with 59. SOT Racing is 17 points in 10th. TVPR with 11th place with 15 points. And Nameless Racing with 0 points in 12th place. The driver's standings are Daniel Trans in first, Armando Fios in second, only 4 points separating them. Then BK in third, 3 points away. Cal Jr.'s in fourth, only 1 point away from BK. Dominic Schumann in fifth. Merlin Travail in sixth. Wilson Ho in 7th, Deej Johnson, Laszlo Ta, Corey McNulty, and Sean Toy in 10th place. Philippe Cossette, Denver Abbott, side by side goes Abbott and BK, it looks like. Almost as they come through clearways, lap traffic, that'll be, I think that's FB Gabata. Yes, that was Gabata getting out of the way. Now it's going to be a push in towards T1, holding him accountable to the outside line. You can barely see him do it, and he may have cooked it going in. Denver Abbott doing a great job of holding on through turn 1 into the straight. Now going into Druids, it looks like BK wants to go the long way around the outside of that BMW, but it goes a little too deep there. Cannot find the crisscross nor the applesauce. Has to tuck in single file line. Leaders on the final lap right now. The number 29 leads the 51 over the 79. Marcos Martins and Armando Fio separated by just 1 second. Coming in through Hawthorne Bend for the final time for all the drivers behind. Armando Fio leads over Philippe Cossette, but loses out to Marcos Martins in 2nd place for that number 51 car. Cow Jr. coming through the final corner for the final time. And onto the Brabham straight. This will be it for him, taking the victory for the Royal Motorsports team, and in P1 doing so. Marcos Martins will take home P2, Armando Fio in 3rd, Philippe Cossette will bring home 4th. Let's take a look at Daniel Tran as he performs a fantastic drive, getting to the line in 5th place. From 1st place, he loses out 4 positions, but overall a great recovery drive. Sean Hafala loses out 1 position overall into 6th place for him. Wilson Ho will gain 1 position overall. Leo Mora gaining 1. Randall Zimmer will gain 3. Merlin Travail will gain 5 positions, starting in 15th place, ending up into the top 10, hopefully. Dominic Chamont trailing behind, losing out 4 positions off the start. Started in 7th and now stuck down in the 11th position and almost able to get by his teammate in the Smash Bros team. But they're going to cross the line nearly side by side, it looks like. Great camaraderie for a good finish. Denver Abbott for the TVP Racing team in the number 73. In 16th place is where he started. He's gained 4 positions, now ending up in 12th. BK is back where he started. He's finishing out in 13th, started out in 13th. Isho gaining 3, started in 17th, ending up in 14th. Laszlo Toth gaining 3 positions in 18th spot is where he started. Benjamin Hyun losing out 6. Corey McNulty losing out 3. Milton Diaz gaining 2. FB Gabata gaining 2. And Ronaldo Jr. gaining nothing. Losing out 1 position overall, started in 19th, now ended up in the 20th spot. Let's take a word from our Sick Kids video really quickly before we wrap up the night. Sick Kids, sim racing for sick kids. Help donate to help sick kids in need. Our support will save lives. We're trying to get to a goal of $1,000 overall, and we can use everybody's help, even if it's just a few bucks. Please go ahead and donate. The QR code will appear on your screen at the end of this video, so please go ahead and join us to help the Sick Kids Challenge. We will be giving out, sponsored by Omega Race GTING, they will be giving out 1 simulator rig, 1 of 3 rigs, to any one of the people that basically donate once we reach our $1,000 mark. Here is the QR code. Make sure you scan it on your screen. There it is one more time. make sure you are able to donate at your earliest convenience, and we really appreciate all the love and support to help sick kids in need, everybody. Anything that you guys can donate will help everybody that is part of the Sick Needs Charity Foundation.